All right, all right. Welcome back to the Military Retirement Podcast. How you doing, John?
Good morning, good afternoon. How's it going?
Or good evening, right? Isn't it evening where you are?
Yeah, close. We call
Close.
it
All right.
pomeriggio, which is mid afternoon, 5 o'clock, 5 p.m.
Don't get all fancy on me there, John. Don't get all fancy on
It's 5 o'clock somewhere, and here it is, 5 o'clock.
me. Yeah, there you go. What does that mean? What's in your mug?
I have no mug today. I have a specialty from Sicily. You can only really get it here. I think you can get it in states at some of the stores in states that sell like Italian stuff, but it's called Quinoto. If you haven't tried it before, it's delicious.
What
At
is it, like
least
a
to me.
limoncello or something?
It's a special type of citrus. It's got like hints of licorice in it. Almost like a cola, but not a cola, but it's like a citrus drink, but very, very
Damn,
good. San Pellegrino.
that sounds good, man. Like I've
Delicious.
been drinking a lot of the LaCroix stuff lately. That's been my jam, dude. Like the
Yeah,
sparkling water. That's good stuff, man. That's good stuff.
we have a bunch of
Uh,
those here too.
Yeah, yeah, I really love that stuff. So yeah, dude, just an update for folks out there watching. So we're attempting to get our guest on the line. More to come on that one, but if not, we got some updates to give you all. We're always prepared. I can always talk about whatever it is, me going to the shoe store or going to the grocery store. It doesn't matter. I got stories for days. So that's what it is. But I guess we can kick it off with this, man. So we did well. I did on the Green Logbook Information Fridays, and a lot of good information that's still relevant right now. And I know you got some information as well too, John. But I wanted to bring this one up, man. If you can find the link to this, this is pretty damn interesting. And I just had a conversation with somebody about this yesterday. I know I say that a lot, but I talk to a lot of freaking veterans all the time, dude. And literally, I had a conversation with a Marine veteran yesterday about this. So there is a VA staffer, somebody who works for the VA, right, who is accused of blindly approving over 85,000 disability claims. 85,000. All right. So I'll give you the story here. The Office of the Inspector General found that this staffer was just rubber stamping claims without even opening documents. Some sometimes taking just 3 minutes between approvals. You know how long it takes to go through all that paperwork, right? Through all those
Yeah,
files. Maybe it's not paperwork, but it's just like PDF
months and
files, maybe.
years.
Yes,
Yeah.
and taking 3 minutes, just kind of scrolling down, stamping that thing approved. And his error rate that calculated was 84% error rate. It led to $2.2 million in improper payments. Yeah, there you go. That's the one. $2.2 million in improper payments so far. Uh, what's worse is that the supervisors reportedly knew that the problem was going on, but they shielded the employee. Uh, one director even admitted that it was not physically possible to approve or to process that many claims correctly in that amount of time. So, and the conversation I had with this veteran yesterday was um, about VA claims, VA disabilities, and how the government is cutting costs different places, different ways, right? And we all know like they're in shutdown right now. And I wouldn't put it past everything if they start touching on VA stuff like this, especially when who knows what rating these folks got, VA disability claims. So um, I wouldn't put it past them if they were actually looking at this like, hey, look, we got too many people that have 100% or 90% or whatever it is. We need to really look at this. We need to dumb it down or scale it down a little bit. And the future might look a little bit a little bit strange when it comes to VA disability claims. But that's the conversation I had with this guy yesterday. He was like, dude, have you heard about this? I'm like, yeah, I heard about it, man. I reported on this thing already. And he's like, dude, I wouldn't put it past it if the government starts taking away like VA disabilities or starts looking at veteran money. i know I know they mentioned they wouldn't, but when it comes down to it, what are you going to do if you need money from
Yep.
somewhere? Okay, what is it? Hellfish Haven. What do you put on there? I was just reading that thing.
Sorry.
The Philly approver spent about 4 minutes per claim. See, I like that, man. He corrected me. I said 3 minutes. He said 4 minutes. Either way, it should not be either 3 or 4 minutes, man. That's insane.
Yeah.
But to just blindly stamp, and who knows what these people got to just blindly stamp 85,000. I can't even count 85,000, dude.
makes me sad that I didn't have my claims in at that point.
Oh yeah, right. Like, hey, everybody, funnel your claims through this guy. You'll get 100.
Right.
Oh man,
Easily.
yeah. So there's here. Actually, let me open up my comments tab here. There, hey, Navy Cop, good morning, and I'm glad that the package arrived to you, buddy. I'm glad.
Nice.
Yeah, so he got his Navy Cop was the winner of the leather journal that we did a giveaway on. So congratulations, Navy Cop. Awesome. Happy to see that got to you. I declined to pay for the insurance, so I was really crossing my fingers on that one. All right, so next up, man. So there's increased rates in programs like vocational rehab, so VRE, Chapter 31, Chapter 35. If you are part of any of those programs, the those rates are increased starting October 1st, 2025. For instance, like Chapter 35, I was looking at if your dependent goes to school full time, it went from, I think it was 1538 in 2024 to, or should I say last fiscal year, 1538 for full time to now $1,575 or something to that effect. So it's not a lot, but it's something. It goes up with the cost of living allowances and all that stuff. So that goes with VRE rates, Chapter 31 rates, and Chapter 35. They roll those out. So make sure you are up to date on all that stuff. Yep, there you go. That's exactly what I was talking about there. So VRE,
VRE rates 26. Yep.
Yeah, and those rates are, and I was looking at into this. Those rates are if you don't get the housing allowance rate, right? So I think it's
Right.
either or. Like when you exhaust all your GI Bill and you go to use VRE, you get those rates. When you have some GI Bill still, your rates are equivalent to what an E5 with dependents has or gets within your area.
Yeah, and I think that's basically one. You have to have at least 1 day left of GI Bill benefits, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure we also put it in our book on that one pager, maybe, or
that's
right around the one pager.
That's right. And real quick for folks that are just joining us, I know the cover says Force Blue and all that, so we had some communication errors on our side. So we're trying to get the guest to kind of come on the show, but if not, we got things to talk about here. And we're going to get into some updates that's happening within the military and veteran community.
That's right.
All right. So go ahead. What do you got?
Let me jump over to this one. So I'm tracking. So this is the interesting thing about diving into all this veteran stuff. And I'm not one to have ever been a subscriber to congress.gov. I don't go to the website every day and check for updates and stuff like that. But as we have gotten more into the weeds of some of these things going on with veterans, and I feel like it's a natural progression to jump into congress.gov. If you haven't been to the site, it's a great site. You go there, you can search for pretty much anything you're looking for, what's going on in Congress and what kind of bills and laws that they're trying to pass, and it'll give you a step-by-step breakdown. If you look here on the page, it says introduced, passed House, passed Senate, to the president, became a law. So if you're looking for any laws or any legislation that's going through the government and you want to be able to track it, you can click on these, you can set an alert on it, and it'll give you updates to your email if you want. And that's just kind of a background, kind of some context of what where we're pulling some of this information from. You might have seen it on some other channels as well. But this one just came across my purview the other day, this 5401, because of the government shutdown, because of continuing resolutions and people getting furloughed and people not getting paid. This one is actually brought up through the MOAA. Well, it's being tracked by the MOAA, which is the Military Officer Association of America, is one of the people that are actually really pushing behind this to get this passed through the government so that they can basically cover down on all of the active duty people, anybody doing active duty time, so Title 10 time, I guess. I don't think that includes Title 32 time. I haven't seen it in here. And then also extending that to Department of Homeland Security and the Coast Guard, who are then serving active duty kind of status under the Department of the Navy. So this one actually, I think they try to do this basically every year. It seems like is what I've gathered. And what this is actually doing is extending that kind of blanket coverage to, civilians, contractors, Homeland Security, and in this case, Coast Guard as well. So it's really expanding kind of the depth of what they're trying to do as far as take care of folks who are affected by government shutdown, affected by continuing resolutions. A lot of people get furloughed if they're government civilians, especially GS employees. So they're trying to kind of offset that and allow people to still get paid, even if the government hasn't officially sat down and like finalized the budget for the new fiscal year coming up.
Yeah, and that's that. Unfortunately, that's the service members and like the GS employees and stuff. They get the brunt. They take the brunt of that, right? Of the whole decision making process at the top. And there are organizations or companies like Navy Federal, USAA that have come out and said, "Hey, look, we will front you the money that you need for this next upcoming paycheck, and then once the government opens again, we'll just take that back," or whatever the case may be, however they run it. So I know they have a program out there for that. So you won't go hungry, essentially, right? Which also goes into, and again, another conversation I had with another gentleman this past week. It also goes into the real need for financial education within the military. If you are struggling when you miss one paycheck, we might have an issue. So, and I've sat down with many folks in my time just talking about finances. I always go back to the story of the one corporal I had who was $90,000 in debt, had married a lady that had 3 kids already. So, and they had a kid, one on the way. So he was walking into a family of 5 from nothing. From being a single man to a family of 5, $90,000 in debt, and paying for her vehicles. So we sat down. We don't, I didn't discourage him. I'm like, look, dude, if you really want to do this, you're a grown man. You're going to do this anyway, regardless of what I say. But I'm telling you to take a step back and look at the reality of things. So yeah, I think there's a real need for financial education within the military. Across all ranks, because I mean, I have Facebook, and I was going on there. I still have folks who are active duty on there, and some of them are saying, "Hey, look, I got these folks due to the government shutdown. I got these folks who are going to be struggling." I'm like, "Why are they struggling? Why do they not have any? What do they do with their savings? What do they do with their money? And I mean, there's a multitude of things. I've had Marines who sent money back to their home country. Wherever their parents live, oh yeah, they're supporting their parents in Mexico or whatever it is. So they sent like half their paycheck back there, and that's admirable. I completely understand that. But I don't like the idea of having to rely on USA or Navy Federal to get you out of a bind. I feel like education is it's like that. Give a man a fish, teach a man to fish type of deal.
Or in the case of our audience, give the man a hellfish.
Get the man a hellfish. There he goes.
I love that name. That's a great name.
Hellfish.
So great.
Yeah. So let me see what I got next up here, man. Let me see. Yeah. So we all know about Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth. Is it Secretary of War or is it Secretary of Defense? So Department of Defense is not a title, or Department of War is not a title, official title. Department of Defense is still the official title, but he is now called the Secretary of War. They changed it. Is that official thing? Is that an official thing, or?
I mean, they've changed the front end of the website as well to be Department of War. They've changed the X handle to Department of War. So I think it's an official thing.
But I thought only Congress can make it official.
Let me double check. I'll fact check that for you right now.
Okay. Well, John, while you're doing that, Pete Hegseth, he announced, as we all know, we've seen his, it's all over YouTube and all that stuff. He spoke to all the generals and admirals in Quantico, Virginia, and it was cool. I saw a few folks I knew on there as well. One of the admirals I worked for just a few months ago. So he laid out some big reforms coming up, and he's looking to rebrand this War Department, right? And his focus is simple. It's people and culture, right? He wants to rebrand the stuff, and he included directives like tougher fitness standards, like 2 PT tests a year, and gender neutral benchmarks for combat roles. Which I was surprised at that, because I'm like, I did that in the Marine Corps. Do people not do that in the Army or Air Force? Like, I thought 2 PT tests a year was standard. Is it not?
It's standard in the Army. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't
Even
know,
in the
because
reserves, actually.
yeah, because I did the PFT, the physical fitness test. That's the 3 miles, the 20 pull-ups, and then the 100 crunches or the planks. And then the other half of the year, you do the combat fitness test, which is everything: carrying a guy on your back, and throwing a grenade, or a simulated grenade throw. So all this stuff, carrying ammo cans. So just to simulate, things on the battlefield.
Yeah.
Next direct.
That's true for what Hellfish said about the one official record and one diagnostic. So yeah, but in essence, 2 basically.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good. Thank you for the update. And where's his comments coming from? And I don't see the comments in the comment box.
It's right there from the YouTube channel. I don't know which YouTube channel it's coming from, but he's throwing some comments in there. Only Congress can officially name Department of War. Yeah, so the Department of War was basically a presidential order signed by the 200th presidential order signed by President Trump, renaming Department of War Secretary of War, Deputy Secretary of War, and asking all other departments to kind of recognize and accommodate these secondary titles in communications.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, all right. So the reason why I was not seeing any comments is because I had everything on the iPad and it was too small to see anything. So all right. Yep. So this setup might not work. Okay. So next up, what Secretary of War Pete Hegseth had mentioned was no more beards. No more beards. I think he called them beardos. And it was funny. I was laughing when he's like, yeah, we don't have what is it? Nordic pagans in the military. In the military. He says no more beards, with a 1-year window for medical waivers to get resolved. So that could be an issue, right? So I think you got the ingrown hairs. It's was it folliculitis, pseudofolliculitis, Barbe?
Shaving profiles.
Yeah. So shaving profiles, or in the Marine Corps, Navy, call them shaving chits. And it used to be that you could go and you see somebody that hadn't shaved, and you ask them, "Hey, you got a shaving chit?" And they used to have to carry it in their left breast pocket, right? They're like, I do, but due to HIPAA, at least when I was in, due to HIPAA, they changed it. Like, yeah, you can't do that, right? But yeah, no more beards. And that causes an issue too, because like ingrown hairs is a big thing. I had a good friend of mine who had ingrown hairs, and then he had to go get it all lasered off. And now he cannot grow any hair from here on down, right? So you have a 1-year window for medical waivers to get resolved. If they don't, it looks like you get the boot. Most likely not a bad conduct discharge or anything like that, more like an administrative separation.
Yep. That's what I've seen as well.
Yeah. Let
And
me
it's
see
crazy because I
here.
see people walking around with beards and facial hair and all kinds of crazy long hair haircuts.
That is,
I don't
yeah,
know.
that's
I don't know what's
crazy,
going
dude.
on.
Like, I go to the Marine Corps Exchange all the time, right? Because obviously you don't pay taxes. I go to the commissary all the time. I live right down the road from one, and I'm always surprised. I'm like, have standards changed so much in a year? I've been retired for a year and a half, dude. Like, have they going on 2 years really next month? And shit, 2 years, damn. But it just the realization just came to
Epiphanies.
me. Yeah, but yeah, I'm always surprised. Like, have the standards changed that much in 2 years? Like now, don't get me started on the Air Force stuff, man. My wife is part of Air Force, and I always give her crap about it. It's like people are allowed to wear like those tank tops or like those white beater shirts to the exchange. Like nobody tells them anything. Uh, but yeah, man, it was. I see people in beards all the time at these places, and I'm like, we're just scruff, and I'm like, does nobody say anything? I'm looking around. I'm like, usually people correct people, but let me see. He also talked about a directive on a review of hazing, bullying, and toxic leadership definitions to empower commanders without fear of reprisal. So that one's a touchy one, right? Because I remember when they used to have, like, when you get the wings and then they punch it into your chest, or when you get some kind of award, not award, but a when you finish a course, like you get the jump wings or something like that, or you get the scoop bubbles or something like that, and they'll hold it there and they'll punch it into your chest, and then it would bleed or whatever. Or when you get promoted, you pin it
Yep.
on here on your collar, at least in the Marine Corps, and then they hit it, and
Yeah.
a lot of times it like hits your collarbone, right? So they do one of those,
Always.
and yeah, that was hazing, right? That was when behind closed doors and stuff like that. And I mean, there's a reason, right? Yeah, you're accepted to the brotherhood, but when it becomes too much, it's like where does this stop? If the senior leadership is not going to stop that, the bullying. And I've seen a lot of stuff on Instagram too. It's like, yeah, you need bullying in the military is what they're saying, right? Because if not, then how do you hold people accountable? Well, I mean, there's ways of doing it without calling people out, bullying them and stuff like that. Because when you do that, I found I've seen it. I've had to deal with investigations and stuff like that, right? And where it got to be too much, they would bully this one kid all the time, and this kid came out where he was just like ripping his hair out and stuff like that. It was bad, right? But I'm like, there's a reason why they took that away, and I'm curious to know what the directives are going to be specifically. And of course, we all know about toxic leadership, man. I mean, that stuff is everywhere. It's everywhere, and that's a big reason why people leave the military is because of toxic leadership, right? So I'm curious to see what his definitions are going to be, what the reviews are, what the new directives are going to be for hazing, bullying, and toxic leadership.
Yeah. I mean, we used to do that stuff in formation, right? With the pinning of rank,
Yeah.
or if you just got E5 or E6, like whatever, we used to do it in formation. I think there's a place and time for it. Like even the thing that I was talking about last week, this chief season thing that they do in the Navy, that I have no idea what it is really, because I'm not from the Navy side of the house. Navy cop probably knows way more, and you of course hanging around with Marines and Navy folks. But from my understanding, like there's still a lot of hazing going on, even in probably the basic training realm, but probably not as much as it was back when we went through basic training, or most of the audience went through basic training. But there's a place and time for it, and if you don't take it I think the problem is Americans, we like to go the extra mile. We like to get the big extra helpings. We like to drive the big cars. Like we like to do things big. And when we go out, we go all out, right? So we don't have a set of brakes. Like we don't have an emergency brake on us,
Right.
which keeps us in check. So
give me 1 second here, man. Let me turn off my. Okay, there we go. You hear the little no, it's that little Roomba or the iRobot going on in the other room. Could you hear it on here?
Oh yeah.
Damn that.
I thought your office was about to take off and head out to outer space.
Oh shit. Oh shit, it is. I hit the stand-up desk button. God damn it. It was going up.
Shenanigans. And this is why we
Uh,
don't have hazing in the military anymore, because
yeah, right.
things like
Because
this
yeah, I would have been in the freaking front lean and rest or whatever.
gets out of
Um,
hand.
let's see. Another directive is the a cutback of mandatory training. Okay, he talked about it was mention of like less PowerPoint and more time in the field, which it makes sense, right? You only learn so much from sitting in an auditorium or in a classroom and watching a PowerPoint. You learn more from practical applications, from what I understand. So, at least that's how I learn better. You know, more hands-on, actually doing it. Am I going to learn? I remember sitting in a class in TBS in the basic school, and we were talking about machine guns and all that stuff. And even when I went like to some early on in my career, like the machine gun course, right? And you're doing like you have to take apart like a 50 cal and all that stuff, and I just we were getting the class on it, and I'm half asleep. I'm like, shit, man. Like, if only you just give me hands-on practical application, I could probably learn this stuff. And and of course we got on there and I was able to take it apart, reload or get the timing right and all that stuff. So I think practical applications are best, but I mean there's also a need to have a classroom applications as well. So I'm curious to see how they're going to cut back on that mandatory training. Because there's also things like was it sand table exercises, stacks, and all that, and you go out and you do the FEX, the field exercises afterwards. There's a need for the sand table exercises to kind of group and get get together with your teammates and figure out what the next plan is, and then you go out and execute that plan in the FEX, right, the field exercises. So I'm curious to see how that's going to work out. And then he also mentioned promotions and evaluations will be merit based only, pushing high performers forward faster. Okay, so that's going to come down range. How were they promoting before? I mean, I've looked at people's performance in the past, and I'm like, hey, if I don't think that somebody's, you know, I look at their paperwork too. Like, hey, does this guy have bad proficiency in conduct marks? Or let me look at this guy's fitness reports. Um, and if they have what they need to get promoted, they're going to be promoted. I mean, they did it right. They don't have any bad paperwork or anything like that. So I kind of get it, but I'm curious to hear more about this.
Sorry, I was reading through the comments and trying to parse all the comments. I didn't see the rest of them come up there. A couple funny ones up.
Where's the funny ones, man? The beard.
Well, the beard, but Navy Cop says always one person that screws it up for everyone. Tailhook was the catalyst that screwed it up for the Navy. Chief season is this several weeks of training for chiefs to hold their coffee cup.
That's right. That's right. So I don't know about Tailhook, but you're gonna have to spin me up on that one, Navy Cop.
Tailhook, yeah. The other one says, I'm worried about the removal of anonymity for complaints for MST. I hope it doesn't apply. They need to be able to feel free and comfortable reporting essay.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Definitely
That's
true.
a big one. If you go into any command building, at least in the Marine Corps, they have the anonymous boxes, or the any mouse, I think they call them, boxes, and you can write something on there. It goes straight to the CO, right?
Yep.
It's usually near the CO's office or something. So yeah, I'm curious to know about the anonymity of it too. Like, hey, are they going to call you out, or is it going to remain anonymous? I don't know. So all good stuff. But the idea behind this War Department rebranding is a lethal, cohesive, and war fighting culture, not one weighed down by politics or bureaucracy, which is all good. It seems to me more like it's going to be turning into, hey, everybody is going to be like special operations. You're admin, you're also a lethal, cohesive war fighting unit, so more to come. I'm curious. You know, I have family members in the military. My brother's currently serving in the military right now, active duty Navy chief. I've got a cousin who's a Marine Corps drill instructor, active right now on the drill field. I've got another one who is a Marine Corps Lance Corporal, and my son is about to go to the Naval Academy soon. So I'm all in this, I'm keeping up to date on all this stuff, if only just to see, how the family's doing and what changes coming downrange.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We're always reorging the military structure, no matter what force you're in. If you're Navy, Army, Marines, Air Force, Space Force, it doesn't matter. There's constantly reorganization of the units and the structure of the teams and the hierarchy that goes along with that. But if you abstract out like the spec ops teams within the specific branches of the service, I mean, they're very cohesive teams. They're small teams. They're well-oiled machines when it comes to operational, tactical operations and things of that nature. And you've got a great amount of funding because they know that I guess they know that the funding is going directly into warfighting operations and it's not being squandered away and pilfered and put in different buckets and used for random things. Like I think there's a lot more usefulness in those smaller teams being able to go and attack targets and be very decisive on the battlefield.
Yeah.
I think we have a ton of back end administrative stuff going on, and I think that the problem comes in is when you try to smush the back end's administrative and the front end warfighter together. Like, yes, you want to have synergy between the two. Yes, you want to be able to have good communications between the two and exchange data and information. But it seems like it makes a little bit more sense, at least from the warfighter perspective, to have smaller organized tactical teams, and maybe not to that level of spec ops, but maybe just a rung down from that, right? You need to send somebody through SEER training and like put them out in the woods for 3 days with no food and water, and do all kinds of torture tactics to get them to talk and things like that to create a cohesive team. I don't think that's 100% necessary, but I think putting smaller teams out there on the tactical battlefield and maybe reducing some of the back end administrative, because it just seems like it's a ton. It's like, how many layers of people do you need to go through to get one piece of paperwork like signed off by the CO to send off to do something, right?
Yep. And that's why I would just go to the CO's office. That was me. I would just like walk into the sergeant major's office. Hey, freaking lieutenant colonel in. Oh, okay, or CO in. Yeah. Can I get this signed off real quick?
Yeah.
And it's all about networking, folks. That's all it
It
is. I knew the sergeant major and CO and all that stuff. So when I needed something done, they got it done, right? So network. And let me see what else we got here on this one. Oh, this one was this one was special. So there was a couple US veterans on a flotilla going towards Gaza, and they were detained by Israeli forces. Okay, this one was on, I think it was stripes.com. There were 5 US veterans among 450 people detained by Israeli forces. They were trying to break a blockade of Gaza with a humanitarian flotilla. Veterans included 3 Marines and 2 Army veterans sailing with more than 40 boats carrying aid like food, medicine, baby formula. And they called it a peaceful mission, but Israel was saying that it was a provocation and intercepted every single vessel.
Yeah.
And of course, among those were like Greta Thunberg, the Swedish advocate for I don't know what she's an advocate for, human rights, I don't know, and grandson of Nelson Mandela. They were on this. So yeah, I mean, it's a good thing they weren't coming towards the US, because it seems like the US is just blowing up all these ships, right? But yeah, I mean, dude, every time I look at the news, like somebody, not even the news, like these Instagram or whatever. I mean, you can see them online, right? They're just kind of like, you see any vessels coming towards the US, they're just riding on the waves, and it just splatter in the ocean. So crazy stuff. Yeah, but yeah, it's total of 5 veterans detained by Israeli forces, and they're looking to get them back over here. So we'll see how that goes. Curious.
Yeah, a lot of crazy stuff going on out here on the other side of the world all day long. All that said, be careful out there, whatever you're doing.
Yeah, and for those active duty folks, and I know there's been a lot of stuff going around, and I see it all the time on Instagram too myself. If you're active duty, if you're in uniform and stuff like that, don't you don't have to get into like political talk or anything like that online, especially social media, because understand that stuff lives forever. People can screenshot it, they'll send it all over the place. Just FYI. There was a big reason why, when I was very hesitant when I was in uniform to do any YouTube or anything, right? You'd be hard pressed to find anything that I have put out during maybe 18 years while I was in uniform. I wasn't really online that much. And it took me to like my 19th year where I really was doing a lot of research on retirement. I was like, people need to know about this stuff. So that's when I started that YouTube channel on my 19th year in the Marine Corps. So before that, yeah, I was very hesitant because I didn't want, I was very much, I had opinions, but I'm like, you know what, who's going to want to hear this? And then if I say these things, it's just going to get me in a world of hurt with my career. So I'm just going to do what I got to do for me and my family, and then go on. But yeah, folks out there, they have some opinions, man. And folks out there in uniform, they got some opinions. So you just be ready for the repercussions, man. That's it. What do you got? What are you bringing up there, man? I see some.
Yeah, I'm actually. So I was trying to see if we had any news back from our guest. We might have to reschedule for next weekend, depending. Yeah. But I saw a notification from Hellfish, who's in the comments right now, and I was pulling up the website. So Hellfish Haven, who's one of our viewers at the moment in the audience. First, thank you for being here. You're joining a very tight-knit camaraderie of folks. We're here doing the good work, trying to push out good information to veterans and have a good time and enjoy ourselves at the same time. Yeah, so sometimes we go off the handle and kick the Roomba and launch the missiles.
That's how I do it, man.
But so I'll just give you a quick breakdown. Hellfishhaven.com. It's a 501c3 veteran-owned and operated nonprofit bringing together veterans for community and camaraderie to silence the stigma. I like that. I like that tagline. So I just want to pop it up on the screen real quick. I mean, we're not here advertising. We don't get paid. This isn't a paid advertisement, but we like to get good information out to veterans. And if it comes across my desk, then I'm going to put it up on the screen. Hellfishhaven.com, and got a bunch of merch and doing some 503c nonprofit stuff to silence the stigma.
Let's get some merch going.
Yeah,
I like it.
Check this out. Oh, nice. Beautiful. You can't stop the waves, but you can learn to surf. That's amazing. Like it. Yeah. Really good. Amazing. Thanks, Hellfish. I just wanted to shout you out real quick and throw some stuff on there.
All right. Next up, we're going to bring up John's OnlyFans.
Oh,
you ready?
Nice. Let's go. only feets.
It's just videos of his feet walking in mayonnaise. Oh,
orange
man.
mayonnaise for the Halloween season.
Oh, man. Little paprika sprinkled in there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit. So, yeah, man. Oh, I want to give a shout out to, real quick, let me grab this stuff here. All right. I want to give a shout out to, is this thing on? It is. Service Connected Wellness, man. John, could you pull up fascia.com, FASCIA, fascia.com. So this dude, Marco, and his wife, Caitlin, run fascia.com. Okay. It's part of Service Connected Wellness, and they're doing awesome stuff, right? So Marco is a Marine Corps veteran. They've owned a gym and stuff like that. This dude is so knowledgeable on just the body, the human body. And his goal is you may have a rating, a VA rating, but that doesn't mean that you need to feel that pain all the time. Okay. So yeah, there's his wife, Caitlin. So that thing that she's holding there, that's called Theracane. That's this thing right here. So he sent over one of these Theracanes, right? This thing is like the same thing that they give you at the VA, but it doesn't have like the sharp edges and stuff like that. So it's very nice. And I use it all the time, dude. I really do. And it releases some tension in the shoulders and all that. So shout out to Marco from Service Connected Wellness. And he sent me this whole kit here. It's got like a one of these yoga blocks. This thing right here is a killer, dude. So I've never really been into like stretching or anything like that. And that's been like the bane of my entire career, because like I run, I work out and stuff like that, but I do like a quick stretch, or like what in the Marine Corps we call it like the daily 16 or the daily 7, or now it's dynamic workouts, right? Or dynamic exercises where you just do like quick things, before and after. But he sent me this foam ball. It's a hard little foam ball, right? He sells it on his website. And I roll on this thing, and it's like the devil's testicle, dude. It hurts, dude. I was just doing my ITB yesterday, and it hurts, but it's a good hurt, because the next day it's like painful, but it's getting better. So
Yep.
You got little ones here that are good for the feet, for your plantar. So a lot of good stuff, man. Shout out to Marco from Service Connected Wellness and Fascia.com. If you haven't followed his YouTube channel, it's Service Connected Wellness. Awesome stuff. And he dedicates a lot of his time and energy and effort into educating veterans on how they can feel better no matter what your VA rating is. So good stuff coming out from that channel.
Yeah, I'll try to pull up the oh yeah, same. Takes you to fascia.com. Good.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, man, because I'm always waking up with some pain and all that. And did I told you about that pillow that I got right from the VA?
Yeah, the Huggy pillow.
Dude, game changer, man. Game
Yeah.
changer. So the VA goes through medcline.com.
Mhm.
And all I did was message my doc, because I read about this, like, oh, they send you custom pillows. What's that about? Because I've not come across a pillow that I like yet, so it's like either they're too soft, or like the memory foam ones are like too hard. So I'm a side sleeper. So I'm like, I need to have it kind of elevated a little bit. And then when I sleep on my side, my arm also goes numb, in the middle of the night.
Yep.
So you get that dead arm feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So I emailed through the VA.gov, emailed my doc, and I'm like, hey, look, I got shoulder injuries and stuff like that from the past. And my arm goes dead when I go to sleep, and I'm always tossing and turning. I heard that you can get custom pillows. How does this work? I'm inquiring about it. And then I got a call from somebody saying, hey, just confirming some information from the VA, right? And then 2 weeks after I put in their request, like no callback saying, hey, we got it done for you. Just 2 weeks later, I got the FedEx guy dropping out this huge box, and it was, of course, this whole pillow, this pillow thing. It's like a wedge
Yep.
with a hole at the bottom, and then also like this J hook type of body pillow, which I sleep with that thing all the time, and it's freaking amazing, amazing. So big ups to the VA and MedCline for that one. And they have two different kinds of pillows. I think it's one for shoulder pain and one for GERD. So I don't know how the GERD one works, but I can't sleep on a wedge. I can't side sleep on a wedge. You don't have to use the wedge. That's the cool thing. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. But that body pillow is money. Let me see. What's Navy Cop say? I emailed my new primary care, and all they would offer is a wedge. I told them about the program, but no movement on it. I have the same size sleep issue plus GERD and sleep apnea. We'll try Sleep Doc. Huh.
Come on, Washington State. You can do better than that. Let's go.
Yeah, for real, man. For real.
Yeah.
I got my wedge sitting on my bed right now. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I have to review it. I have to see what kind of wording I put in there. I did put MedCline on there. I did tell them, hey, look, I saw this thing on MedCline. It's VA approved. Is that something I can get into? I'd like to inquire on this. So they definitely helped out. Side note, the TikTok link in the YouTube about section is a dead link. Okay,
Yeah,
I don't know.
They're having a conversation in the chat. It's just totally cool. Totally awesome.
Oh, okay,
Actually,
okay. Sidebar.
we
Okay.
encourage more of that. Have conversations in the chat. We'll pull up the relevant stuff.
I was looking at it. I was like, what TikTok? Like I just got on, like John, man, I just got on TikTok, dude. I've not been on there before. Actually, I'd lie. False official statement. So I've been on there. I uploaded like one video, and I'm like, I don't really want to be on TikTok, right? But then I just 2 weeks ago I got back on there. I'm like, let me try this TikTok thing out. Just upload the same videos I upload to like Instagram or whatever, the shorts and all that.
Yep.
I honestly, I like it since I uploaded. I haven't even checked it. It's not my jam, dude. I don't know, something about it. I know it's like the biggest platform, but something about it, man. It's not me. I enjoy the YouTube stuff, and at times Instagram when I can, and Facebook when I can, but YouTube's my jam, man.
Yeah.
I can't do the TikTok stuff, man. The dances and all that stuff. I don't have the dance, but
yeah, we've had who was it? Jerome Dingle was on here. He was one of the first guests a long time ago, and then he came back on more recently, a few months ago, I guess. And he's got a pretty good thing going on with TikTok. He actually goes on. He does clinical psychology stuff, work like that, and social work. And he puts a lot of his thoughts and feelings and ideas about being a good man, being a good husband, being a great brother or sister to somebody, being a better human being, treating yourself correctly. Like he puts a lot of good information out there, and he's the kind of guy that you wouldn't think you would see on TikTok talking about those kind of things, because he's built like a like a linebacker. He's a big dude. But yeah, really, he's doing a good job with it, and that's all he does. He does his thing. He goes on the platform, he uses the platform, but he does his thing, and that's I think really all you got to do on some of these platforms. Like, yeah, you got to try to catch the algorithm, but if you're chasing the algorithm, what are you really doing? Like, you're not putting out information, I guess. So
yeah,
but yeah, he does.
Yeah, I just can't get into it, man. So there's another site that I keep getting emails about, and they were like, hey, we want you to come on this. It's like YouTube, but it's called Rumble. And Rumble, yeah. So I had somebody email one of their marketing directors. I don't know who it was. They're like, hey, we really want your channel on Rumble. I'm like, I uploaded a couple of videos on there. I'm like, hey, there's nothing happening. So maybe Rumble's not for me. Completely new to me. I had no idea what Rumble was, but it is. It feels like the dark web of YouTube.
Now live streaming on Rumble.
Yeah. So kind of weird, but I don't know. I might be taking that off there. Let me see. What does it say? Rumble is like a right-leaning YouTube with less restrictions than YouTube terms of service. Yeah. So yeah, I would agree with that statement, Hellfish. And though when I went to go upload some stuff on Rumble, they were like, there's like 3 different tiers that you can upload it under. And like number one is if you uploaded something to Rumble, they own all the copyright to everything that you upload.
I
So
don't like
I'm
that.
like, yeah, I was like, nah, so you really got to read the terms of service and all that stuff for these 3 different tiers. I forgot which one I used. I uploaded it to the less restrictive one, I guess, but they promote it less too. So
Yep,
that's probably why.
of course. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
I
like giving
don't.
away IP either.
Yeah, so that's what it is, man. But yeah, man, a lot of changes coming through with the government, with the shutdown and stuff like that. Just going back to that, um, I know folks who are at home, chilling out, not getting paid, right, but just at home,
Yep.
and some folks who are essential workers and still going into work daily. So they're still out there. As for me, my DRP ended 1 October, so that's where I am.
All done.
I'm here. I'm here. Yeah, I'm done, man. That's incredible, dude. It was like a government paid freaking DRP since May.
Yep.
Come on now. Come on now. Why not? And I got to do what I wanted to do for the last, whatever, couple of months.
Yeah.
Very cool stuff. Very cool stuff.
That's
But I
awesome.
got a chance to find me and to find my purpose and all that, which is a big thing that I feel like folks are trying to explore.
Yeah, I'm actually we're reaching out to a bunch more folks. I don't know, you've probably seen some of the emails back and forth in the inbox, but reaching out to a bunch of people, more veteran organizations, and potentially, I mean, Hellfish, if you got some good stuff, shoot us an email at info at the military retirement podcast.com. You'll get in touch with myself and Vic both, and we can start a conversation. But trying to get more information out there about veteran organizations, veteran resources, veteran programs, and really zeroing in on finding your tribe, finding your purpose after
Yeah.
retiring or leaving the military. Like it's difficult. And I like the way you did it is you used, maybe subconsciously, you used a tactic that's really, really good is you set some right and left limits. You set yourself a box to be in, and you were like, okay, cool, I'm leaving the government now, I have this many months left, and you actually use that time and maximize that time to then get to an end state at the end of that. And I think we talked about it a couple weeks ago with another guest of ours,
Mhm.
which we will be hopefully doing some future episodes with and talking about a bunch of this stuff. But really just setting those constraints and putting yourself in within a time limit and saying, okay, within these next 6 months, this is what I'm going to do. And whatever happens at the end of the 6 months, as long as I get something out of it, educational wise, spiritually, internal good feeling, something like
Yeah.
that, some kind of outcome like that, and not just big pie in the sky, like, oh, I have to meet these goals and hit these KPIs. Like you're really just setting a goal, figuring things out. And then at the end of that, probably going to sit down and do some reflection and see what went right, what went wrong, what kind of outcomes that you actually got on the back end of that to then go forward the next
Yeah.
6 months or a year.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And for me, what worked, man, was working backwards.
Yeah.
That has always worked for me. Like, what do I want my end state to be, and how do I get there? And I knew my end state was always to do 20 years, no more, no less, which I
Mhm.
failed at because I did 20 years in 1 month. So I'm a failure, man. But no, I looked at it. I'm like, where do I want to be at 20 years? What do I want to be doing? And plans change, mindset changes, depending on where you are in life. And immediately went into a contracting gig, like a very, very high paying contracting gig. Um, I didn't really know much about it. It was kind of like through my network, through word of mouth. I got the job and then went to another surface warfare or a naval facilities position with the government. So, and then I kind of found my groove and I'm like, what do I really want to be doing now that I have a chance to do what I really want to do? Right. So now I'm my my purpose has shifted, like my passions have shifted, and I find that, the veteran community, I still want to connect with that. It's hard for me to let go of all that because I've been a part of it for so long.
Yep.
But I do, I recently connected with this community, man, and it is awesome. And I just hung out with them on Thursday. I got another hangout on this coming Thursday. And any folks out there who like to golf, I've never been a big golfer myself. It's weird when I told the guy, he's like, "Wait, you were like a Marine Corps officer and you didn't like golf?" I'm like, "Dude, I just didn't like." I don't know. I would go out for like the mandatory golf outings with the other officers, but I'm like,
Yep.
it wasn't my thing, right? Um, I'm like I always volunteer to drive the golf cart. I'm like, that's the most fun. And then I'd go over rocks and shit, on purpose. But this one here, man, this thing is legit here. And they're around the country. It's called PGA Hope. PGA Hope, all right? Um, so this organization, I was just doing it this past Thursday. There was 5 professional golfers with us showing us like the ropes of golfing, right? If you're a complete beginner, go with this group. If you are intermediate, go with this group. And they had us do putting, chipping, what else? And driving, so, and they let me go home with one of these just for the week, right? Just so I can practice. And I got to obviously bring it back next week. But, these folks, I sat there and talked to this guy, Gary, who, an older gentleman who was a professional golfer for like 40 years or something. And he was saying, "Hey, look, in order to get in with this organization, they had to go through extensive classes on how to deal with people with PTSD, with mobility issues. And because when they first started, they had folks with like no, like missing limbs and things like that. And they had to figure out how they can help them out, with swinging a golf club and stuff like that. That is, that they could work through. So yeah, it's really well run. Awesome folks. There was probably like 20 veterans out there with me learning, from all stages, all services, very cool stuff. And it's all local. It's across the country, right? Even the guy from, I'll give him a shout out, Dustin from Red, White, and Badass Brew, awesome coffee shop here in San Diego. He was out there. I see him every so often. So shout out to Dustin, Red, White, and Badass Brew. Good stuff. But yeah, we were out there hitting some golf balls. And at the end, you actually do an entire like golf trip with the guys that you were out there with. It's a good way to kind of come together, have some camaraderie, things like that. Very cool. Yeah, I think Hellfish Haven just mentioned camaraderie is a huge factor to battle against isolation and mental wellness. 100%, man. 100%. If you live in these 4 walls, nothing good's going to happen. You got to get outside. You got to get out.
Yeah. Yeah. And he actually dropped a little note in the chat here. I wish we had more time because I know we're coming up on the hour. Just shoot Hellfish Haven a damn link and have him come online, but maybe we'll link up in the future. But he did drop a note in there about the ETS, the VA ETS partnership program, where it pairs veterans and service members prior to their separation from the military with trained volunteer peers. So it's kind of like a volunteer peer organization, exploration of innovative, safe, and ethical emerging therapies for veterans prior to separation or up to 12 months post separation. It's something I've never heard of. This is the first time I'm hearing about it. It looks pretty interesting.
There you go, Navy cop. Put that on your website.
This is a really good one. Yeah, this is a nice little 2-page overview too. It's not a 40 slide PowerPoint, which I really like. But yeah, thanks for the resource there. Appreciate that, Hellfish.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. That's Hellfish Haven bringing in some good information. We really appreciate that. Let's see. Morning to old Gunny Hahn. Just talked to him not too long ago. Good stuff. Morning. So, hey, great information, and we couldn't get our guest to come on the show. I mean, there might have been some communication issues with the links and stuff like that, but or
good.
some yeah, all good. We'll get it done. No worries. But yeah, we were going to talk about Force Blue and what they're doing for the special operations community and with veterans cleaning up oceans and things like that, coral reefs and all that. So more to come on that one. Truly apologize about not having this gentleman on here, but it looks like we still got some good information out and some good talking points out to the group. So big ups to that. Real quick before we shut it down, a lot of good questions coming out on the military retirement group. If you haven't already joined, please do so. We're about to hit about 2,800 veterans on there, both who are retiring or getting out of the military after just a few years. It's called the military retirement group, but it's not just for retirees. It's for everybody. So it's on Facebook, literally the military retirement group. And questions like, hello, thanks for the ad. I have about 344 days until retirement, and I'm slightly nervous due to the current job market. Not really a question, more of a statement, but still, I think a lot of folks are kind of wary about the job market now. And, we just help people out. People are responding and all that. So somebody else, another podcaster, Daniel Faust, he recently joined because he has 14 days left till retirement. He wants to network and brace for this journey. So, I don't know if we can drop the link.
Yeah, I got you. Don't worry about it. I got you. Yeah, Daniel was on the show as well. I forget what episode it was on the live stream. One of the live streams that we did a few months ago. Great guy. He was out at the MIC last week, I guess, or a couple weeks ago.
That's right. Yeah, so good stuff. I just approved about 20 folks on there. And I mean, we get requests all the time, but half of these requests are from like
bots,
freaking people from bots, people from like Nigeria who have nothing to do. And I go through all of these things. So the majority of them are all veterans, right? And military spouses that want information. So a lot of good info on there in the files tab. There's guides. There's whatever we don't put on the YouTube channel, we usually put it on there, and vice versa. So
give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna try this new feature and see if this actually works.
Oh shit!
Create a QR code on the fly. Now put it on the screen. Boom.
Bamses.
Done, son.
But now the live thing is covering your face.
That's all right. I'll just move myself.
That's not. Can you put in like the lower left hand or something, or lower right hand?
I don't know where I can put it at. It's a good question. I can't move it. It's fixed assets. Oh well, we tried.
It's all good.
That's cool though. Good. It makes a QR on the fly, so that's cool.
Yeah. So yeah, military retirement group on Facebook. Enjoyed it. You got to answer some questions, but either John or I will add you to the group. We also have the military retirement, the book that we wrote. It's called Bottom Line Up Front: What You Need to Know Before You Leave the Military. And there you go. So it's an ebook for right now on Amazon.
Working on paper.
Excuse me. Ebook right now. It's completely free for you if you have Kindle Unlimited. If not, it's $2.99 on Amazon. Check it out. It really helps us pay for this, all the software and all the crap that we use for this podcast to get you the information. But yeah, bottom line up front, what you need to know, support the channel, support the mission, get yourself a copy of this. Good stuff. 10 short chapters on what you need to know when you're leaving the military. And even beyond too, things to think about. What else do we have? We got my own channel, The Green Logbook. I think I just hit about 6,500 subs on there. Good stuff. All transition stuff, talking about military civilian transition, the journey, leadership, books, just stuff about my hiking, the days I go hiking. I just put out quick shorts on there. Truly, man, just happy to be alive. Man. That's what it is. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, man, another breath, another day with my family, another day, with the podcast and the YouTube channel. So happy, so blessed to be here to do all this stuff. So truly happy. So yeah, called the Green Logbook on YouTube. And I think, yeah, also on Instagram too. Not a big following on Instagram, but getting there. What else do we have, man? I mean, we're kind of all over the place here.
Yeah, we're on X. So the military retirement podcast is on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on X. I usually grab a lot of stuff from the VA X account and some other things that are happening that are pertinent to veterans, or if there's a military organization out there that posts something really cool, I'll take that and rehash it. We throw links of stuff that we're doing. Not super active on it, but we definitely do regurgitate and reshare information from that comes across the desk. So on there, Instagram, we're on there, but we don't mess with it too much. We're on TikTok. We don't mess with it too much. We'll post some shorts up there every once in a while, but haven't made it the main focus is YouTube. Main focus YouTube, and then all the other podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, wherever you listen to or watch podcasts, you can find us on there. There's a backlog right now of the episodes, so what you see on Spotify is going to be probably 40 episodes back from today, and slowly, trickling those back out to the other podcast platforms, but mainly on YouTube. If you want to see what's relevant, what's going on with us right now, we're here on YouTube. That's where you will find us the best, or LinkedIn.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So that's where we are. Let me see. Aside from that, please reach out to us, info@militaryretirementpodcast.com or thegreenlogbook@gmail.com. Happy to have you. If anybody out there has maybe wants to come on the show, talk about their transition, talk about their what they're doing in civilian life now, their failures, successes, just get real deep on stuff if you want to, or just talk about what you're doing now. We'd be happy to have you. Just send us an email.
Yep.
Easy peasy. Yeah. So let me see. Yeah, there we go. Plus, what did Gunny Han say? Plus, good times getting coffee with friends. That's right, especially in Ocean Beach. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I went down to OB not too long ago and had some coffee with old Gunny Han there. Good stuff, man. Nice little spot. Good place by the ocean. So really like it out there. So good stuff. We have to do it again. We got to do it again. Maybe we do like a meetup or something like that, right? Meet up with a couple of folks from the show. I mean, everybody's kind of like all over the place, but all over the country. Yep. But if anybody's out there in SoCal, be happy to do something like that. Grab some coffee in the morning. Just talk about what's going on in life. So that's what it is, man. Happy to be here. Thanks for watching the show. And please reach out to us if you got anything. We're here for you.
Yep.
With that, that's the show. Out here,
man. Thanks, everybody.